Across our broadcast regions of New South Wales, it's great to have the Hume Footy League report, and Phil Bouffler is on the line. G'day, Phil. How you going?
Morning, Wayne. I'm perched up on the my hill at home. Thank you, Telstra, once again. So I'm ready to fire. So a little bit overcast in the Riverina today, and could be a chance of a shower over the weekend. So I'm just not sure.
All right. Well, with that shower, did you get that air-seeder bloke out of the bog that you got him in last week?
Yep. Yeah, it's a bit of a deja vu, Wayne. He's in a bit of a wet paddock at the moment, so I just said I'm just keeping an eye on him as we speak. So if he goes over into a certain corner, I might have to duck off.
I'll tell you what, talking about the ducking off, what a performance. Osborne have reversed last season's disappointment over Holbrook, beating them 14-1600 to 9-8-62 at home. All the Tiger fans were out in force.
Got off to a flyer. I had hoped to get out to that game, but ended up staying at Lockhart. It was a good game at Lockhart and CDHBU, so I stayed in there. Osborne's got off to a flyer. I think got 5 or 6 goals in the first quarter, and we're never headed. So, But then again, this happened last year, Wayne. I think Osborne won every home and away game, and probably the second semi-type thing, and just lost the grand final. So, it's only early in the year. Wouldn't read too much into this, but it was a good win to Osborne.
Osborne have got multiple goal kickers. It seems that this is where they get their strength. Their midfield kicks goals of Clancy Galvin, Declan Galvin, Martin Barr, and then George Alexander comes back to the club. The big leading goal kicker only needs to kick one because they shared it around. Edward O'Connell, he's kicking good bags week in, week out. He booted 3, and Hayden Armstrong and Connor Galvin and Matthew Gregory, they all booted 2. On the other side for Holbrook, Andrew McKinlay booted 5 of their total 9 goals. So I think the point is that there just is more goals kicking power in the Osborne side.
That's one of the secrets, Wayne. If you lock down one of their players, someone else bobs up. So it's just incredible, really. So they've got a lot of firepower up forward, and they're tall as well. So that's another problem. So, they're a good side, Osborne.
They've been tall and mobile for a long time, and that's a very, very good thing to have, getting it and giving it to somebody who can kick it. Billabong Crows didn't kick it well enough, and they lost to Gindera. Could have, I reckon, put a lot more scoreboard pressure on, and this game might have even been an upset, but it wasn't to be. Gindera 9-1, that's good kicking. The Billabong Crows 4-12, that's not good kicking.
Not great kicking. It's half-time. I think it was 2 goals to 3 goals, so I think the Crows are in front at half-time. So, but Gindera came home. Once again, they had a good last quarter, Gindera, so they're a bit of a last quarter specialist, Gindera. They came home against Holbrook and nearly won that game, but they got up here. I think there was only a couple of points into the 3-quarter time, but that was a much better effort by the Crows, so they'll be buoyed by that, but that's a good win to Gindera.
It is. A couple of goals to Ben Downer and George Flanagan, and also Josh Lloyd for the winners. All singles to Dylan Flanagan, Joey McKenna and Michael O'Riordan. George Sandrell also getting amongst it. I did see in the junior grade, though, down there at the Billabong Crows, they got another Sandrell that's running around, and he looks like an absolute star.
Normally you associate the name Sandra with a good player, and that's another case down there, Wayne, so he'll be a good player too in years to come.
I reckon so. The kid playing in the under-17s last week was an absolute revelation for the Billabong Crows when they won 10-18 to 8-6 over Gindera, and I saw the score sheet. This Nick Sandrell booted 5 goals out of their 10 goals and was an absolute big name player for the future. Watch that lad. What about this one in the senior football ranks again? And Lockhart were up against one of the very good sides, and you went out and had a look at this game, and Lockhart have improved massively this year, and they've come up again with a very, very good performance here, and I think that that's buoyed their fans. 8-12-60. They got knocked over by the CDHBU 14-4, but this game was right on for a long, long time, wasn't it, Phil?
Good game, Wayne. As I said, I was going to duck out to Osborne at half-time, but I just stayed in there. It was really quite an enthralling game. Lockhart have got some good players. Just Hunter Lloyd's a very good player. The coach is playing well, Tom Keogh, and some of the young local kids like Angus Grigg from last year played really well. But I was talking to the CDHBU coach after the game, and he was impressed with Lockhart. He said they've improved a lot, and they'll win a few games. So all kudos to Lockhart. So as I said last week, some of these younger kids have just got to get a bit bigger bodied than that. But they're on the right track. And CDHBU did what they needed to do and played well. They kicked straight, Wayne. That's another secret. I think it was only 4 points they kicked. I think Lockhart kicked 12. So once again, I think Lockhart had more scoring shots but just didn't convert.
It was exactly that. Ryan Beveridge with 5 for the winners. And CJ Smith, I think he played his 100th, 150th game for the Power. And tell you what, he powered through with Kyle Doherty and playing some great footy too. Angus Grigg, very, very good for his side. Tom Keogh, very good, the coach. And Hunter Lloyd, as you mentioned, Hunter Lloyd booted 3 goals in that side's performance. Let's go and have a look at this one. And this is the Brock Burham game. Howlong beat him 11-8 to 6-8. Brock Burham have lost 3 in a row. This is at home too. And danger signs because they get Osborne this year and they'd be 4 in a row.
Yeah, not a great start for the Brock Burham Saints. So Howlong finally getting on the board. So, they've promised a lot and haven't just sort of delivered yet, but that was a much better win. So I think they were up by 5 or 6 goals. They won that game by. Got little bit behind. I think the Brock Burham got the jump in the first quarter. But then Howlong just ground away and just won by 5 goals, I think it was, in the end. So, yeah, that was a good win to Howlong. They'll be buoyed by that.
Oh, I reckon so. Ramwell Bundry Waller got 10-6-66 to Kalkan, 9-2-56. This was at Waller, and this was a very good win for the Giants because there's been a bit of talk as to just their depth with not having a 17s this year and so on, but this is a particularly good effort from them.
That's right, Wayne. So there was a bit of a delay in this game. As a fellow from Colcan got concussed, and I think they stopped the game. Could have even been for an hour or something like that, waiting for an ambulance to turn up. So I think he's going okay. So that's the main thing. And so that's why it was a little bit funny to score at half time. So but that was a good win to Randwell Bundry. They were impressive against Murray Magpies the week before, but the Magpies played well. And Colcan will be disappointed, so it'll be interesting to see how Colcan goes this week.
Yeah, thanks for bringing us up to date to that. I did notice those scores at halftime. Obviously, they delayed the start, shortened quarters. Henty, 20 goals, 16, 136 over the Murray Magpies, 7-7-49. Probably the good thing there is the Murray Magpies got to 7 goals, and Henty probably didn't get to 25 or 30, which some sides have been getting against the Magpies.
Well, once again, I was keeping an eye on this game from Lockhart, and they were up by 4 or 5 points. I can't remember what it was at quarter time, and there probably was a lot in it at half time, so it was a good effort. And they just fell away a little bit at the end, but that was a great effort by the Magpies. But Henty, that's a good win to Henty, so they'll be happy with that as well. So out at Henty, so I think they've had 2 home games in a row now, so we'll see what happens this week.
Sam Scott was good for them. Joshua Klemke and Nathan Klimpschen. Peter Faulkner tried hard for his side, kicking 3 goals for the Magpies. And Shannon Turlick leading goal kicking is 5 on the board again from him, and he's having another good season. And we go now to this week's matches, and it's exciting round 4. And I made the point a bit earlier, Brock Burham, would they start a season with 4 losses in a row? Osborne at home, you can't tip against the Tigers in good form. And Brock Burham, this is not good for the Saints.
Shouldn't be looking too great for the Saints, I don't think. Osborne, hard to beat at home. 4 o'clock tomorrow, I'll be much wiser because I'm going to go to that game. So, it's a bit interesting to see how Osborne go. And Brock Burham will be trying, but I just think at home Osborne will be too strong.
Kalkan should get across the Murray Magpies pretty easy at the Lions' Den. Holbrook get the Billabong Crows. If the Crows can straighten themselves up and kick straight, they could put some pressure on. But you'd reckon up there in the submarine territory, Holbrook would be too good?
I think the Holbrook would be too strong, Wayne. Ground's in beautiful nick out there. It'll be a good game. The Crows are on the improve, but I just think at home, Holbrook will be too strong.
Out of Kareen, the Power are going well. Will the Swampies be able to get across there and do any damage? I just get a feeling that the Power are going well enough at home. I think they can beat Henty.
Power playing well, so I was pretty impressed with them last week. They were going to be one of the bigger improvers, and they played really well. Just ground away, did what they needed to do, didn't panic, and that was good. Haven't seen Henty play yet, but I just think, though, that at Corrine, CDHB will be too strong.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Now, Howlong are in 8th spot on the ladder, and they've just got the 1 win and the 2 losses. Their opponent this week is a very, very good side that is coming in and doing some good things, Gindera. Gindera seem to be falling over the line a little bit. So I just reckon Howlong at the Spider Park, I think they could upset the Bulldogs.
I think Howlong could possibly win. A lot of it will depend on whether Trent Castles is playing. He hasn't played a game yet for Gindera, so this is round 4. He'll be due to come back pretty soon, I think. So I didn't actually see the sides in the paper last night, so I'm not sure about that. But if Castle comes, that'll be a big in for Gindera. And but I just think Howlong, they should be playing a little bit better. I think Howlong might get up. I think they'll be a good side, Howlong, once they gel.
I think so too, with Baker and Cook, good players for them, and they just need to get rolling, and they will bite a few sides before the end of the season. Rammelbundry Waller take on Lockhart. This is the one up on your hill there. I reckon that you might just nip down there to Waller for a bit of a look.
No, I won't get down there, Wayne. I'll be happy out at Osmond, so I won't get down there. I've seen both those clubs play already this year, Rand and Lockhart, so I'll try to get round to a different game each week. I think this will be a close game, so this will really be a good test for Rand, for the Giants, because Lockhart played well last week, so they're certainly not the easy beats they once were. They're playing pretty good footy, and I just think they'll win they'll win a few more for the year. I'm not sure whether this will be one, so just maybe at Waller. I think the ground will be good there, and the facilities are great at Waller. So I think the Giants just might sneak home.
Yeah, I'm sliding to a little upset. It could be one this round, and this might be just it. Lockhart showing enough and gelling as a side, and with their run and their faster fleet-footed players, it just might be able to get the speed on that beautiful Waller surface. We'll wait and see. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good weekend of Hume football, and looking forward to having a look at the results on Saturday night. Phil Bouffler, I'm sure you're looking forward to catching up with the folk out and about at Osborne. They'll give you a rousing reception out there, I'm sure.
Possibly not, but we'll see.
Lovely to talk to you as always, and we'll catch up next week.
Good on you, Wayne. Thanks again for your support.